For your child, it can be like the world is a minefield of threats to families. The Care Center is Oklahoma's only child advocacy center in Oklahoma County, and today, what they wish parents knew about child safety. Shelby Lynch from the Care Center is here with some advice for everything from online safety to physical safety. So important. These are our biggest treasures in the world, our kids. So Facebook, Instagram, they've been around for a while. Kids most of the time these days are on Snapchat, TikTok. So how can we as parents really protect our kids online?
Absolutely. I think one of the most important things to remember is when we allow children access to the internet, it really is our job as parents and caregivers to teach them how to be a good digital citizen and how to use these apps correctly. So what that looks like is we need to make sure that we understand how the apps work. Facebook and Instagram have certainly changed a lot since we kind of started our social media journeys. And one thing that's really important, and one thing I really want parents and caregivers to take away from this conversation, is limit the public information that you put out about your child. Try to avoid listing what school they go to, tagging the school in the photo. If they go to a private school, blur the logo on their polos and on their uniforms. It is not everyone's information to know where your child goes to school, who their teacher is, and what grade they're in.
Right.
And what child groomers will actually do is they will use that information to find and manipulate your child. So it's important that we as adults also monitor our own social media and act as good role models for our children.
Something else scary, they can also find out their recess time if they know which class they're in and grade and everything. So all kids need to have trusted parents, or I'm sorry, trusted adults all the way around them. So how can parents really reinforce that?
This is something that is so basic that we can all talk about in our own family units and kind of create a family plan. One thing that's really important is that kids are able to identify safe adults both inside the home and outside the home. So a really great conversation starter that we can do with our kids, maybe when we're driving in the car, we're sitting down at dinner, is just ask them, hey, if something were happening to you, if you felt like you were in trouble, who are 3 people that you know you could always talk to no matter what? Maybe that's mom, maybe that's dad, maybe that's your aunt, your uncle, grandma, grandpa. But encourage them to think outside of the family unit too. We need to make sure we're including teachers, school counselors, maybe a family friend, their friends' parents. Kids have so many safe adults around them who are willing to stand up and do the right thing for them. Sometimes they just need help identifying them.
And body safety too, that's so important that parents need to learn about right now.
Yes, yes. Body safety is something that never goes away. It is so vitally important that we teach kids the anatomically correct names for their body parts. Especially for us at the Care Center, being a child advocacy center, sometimes when a child discloses that something is happening to them, it can be really confusing for the person who's receiving that disclosure if they use code names for their body parts. So if they're calling their private parts something else other than the anatomically correct name, that's really confusing for the adult because we might not know what they're talking about. So it's really important that we talk about that and use age-appropriate language as well.
And you also say parents need to teach the difference between secrets and surprises. What do you mean by that?
Yes. So surprises are really good things. They are things that make somebody else feel so good and so happy inside. Eventually, that person who's receiving the surprise will find out about what's happening to them, right? These are things like surprise birthday parties or presents for other people. What we teach in the ROAR program, our child abuse prevention program, is for secrets. These are things that can make you feel sad or scared or that you are not safe. And if someone, a kid, a teenager, or an adult, asks you to keep a secret that makes you feel sad, scared, or not safe, that's not okay. You need to go and tell one of your safe grown-ups about that secret.
Okay, thank you so much for all of the details as always.
Of course.
Great tips, and we really appreciate you being here and of course for what you do. For more information on the Care Center's mission and services, go to carecenter-okc.org.